Disney World is known for having all sorts of special events and parties and all sorts of special things at the parks. Here's some of the favorite things I like to do at some of them. Disney World has all sorts of different special events and all kinds of great things that they do that are out of the norm, out of the ordinary. And it makes it a lot of fun when you can be at those as well as to work at them. What they used to do over at Hollywood Studios before they started building Star Wars Land was they would spend the whole month of May and it would be Star Wars weekend every weekend. And they would have all sorts of Star Wars characters. They would have stormtroopers over at the entrance. They'd have all sorts of really neat things. Working with the characters could be a lot of fun because so many of them would get so into who they were supposed to be. My daughter, for example, really liked Zam Wesell. If you don't know who Zam Wesell is, she was a bounty hunter in the second Star Wars movie. My daughter really liked her, but Zam tended to wander around. She didn't stay in any one place. And so when my daughter wanted to meet her, we'd end up having to follow her around a little bit and track her until finally we get her to stop long enough that my daughter could get a picture with her. Those were really special moments for her. But there was all sorts of different fun things to do too. The bounty hunters like Boba and Jango Fett would capture guests and lock them up. Darth Vader would force choke some of them. Of course, he's not actually choking them. And it was just a lot of fun to be able to play along with them. Over at the Magic Kingdom, they had all sorts of other special events. You may very well have heard of the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, where they have all sorts of Christmas decorations and special shows. Over at Hollywood Studios, again, when they had the Streets of America, you would have the Osborne Christmas lights, and the whole thing would be lit up with lights, and they would synchronize the light so they would be dancing with Trans-Siberian Orchestra songs, and it would even snow on you while you were there. It was just a really neat, fun event to be a part of. One of my favorites, though, was over at the Magic Kingdom. They've got the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'm not a real big Halloween person. I don't like all the horror movies. I don't like the blood and guts. I don't like monsters. And so generally speaking, Halloween stuff isn't for me. But the Mickey's Not So Scary was an absolute blast. All the characters would get dressed up in costumes, and the guests were allowed to be in costumes as well. This is unusual because normally they don't allow the adult guests to dress up. But you could for the Not So Scary Party. They would have all sorts of extra special events, stage shows. They had a special fireworks show that would feature the Disney villains. The parade was incredible. It would start off with the Headless Horseman racing down the street on a horse, and it's a real horse, and it's a real guy who can't see where he's going because he has nothing on his head to see with. And you watch it race down. It's just a really neat effect that they do. You've also got the Gravedigger drill team in it, and the Pirates floats, and it's probably my favorite event. If you've never seen it, go onto YouTube and look for a Boo to You parade. It was also a lot of fun to work because you would see people doing things they would never get to do. You get to interact with the villains, which you usually didn't get to do as a photographer. And trust me, those villains, they didn't stop being bad for anybody. But probably my favorite party to work is one that they only did for a couple years and they don't do anymore. It was the Pirate and Princess Party. They actually have a whole party where everybody would dress up as either princesses or pirates. And sometimes you would get a pirate princess mixed in there. In fact, kind of related to that, Disney actually has a special place where little girls in particular can go and get makeovers. They call it the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and the girls can get a complete makeover like a princess. Well, Disney even realized that the boys were kind of being left out with this as well, so they added on a whole pirate thing where the boys could actually be made over like a pirate as well. Get the makeup and the outfit and everything else, which worked wonderfully on the days that we had the Pirate and Princess Party. And it gave something for everybody to do. Again, they had a neat fireworks display, probably one of the neatest I've ever seen because they actually blew up the castle. Okay, no pieces of the castle didn't go flying off, but as part of the story of the fireworks, the pirates launched this attack against the castle and would start bombarding it. And they would have explosions coming off of the castle, and it was the neatest thing to see. But what was also so much fun was getting into the spirit and the character of it and greeting everybody as the character that they were dressed up as. Of course, with all the princesses, you would tell them the story, "How are you today, princess?" And just be very sweet and kind to them. But the pirates were the most fun because they really got into it. And as part of it, you learn to get into the pirate character too. Aye, we would greet everybody in our best pirate voice. And we would do all sorts of other funny things. I actually got in the habit of wearing a Disney plastic saber when I was out shooting for that one, so I'd have my pirate sword. and I could hand that to kids and pose them with it. It's actually where we first started doing a new picture too, where people could pose with Captain Hook in a sword fight. Captain Hook's not really there, this is one of our magic shots. But this is an example of one of the things that we could do, and we eventually started doing it just during regular park opening too. Why do we have Pirates and Princess in September? Well, September 18th. It's International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Aye, and since that is this weekend, we need to get into the spirit of things just a little bit. So, with that in mind, let me tell you some of my favorite pirate jokes that I used to greet me guests with. Pirate jokes? Aye, of course I had pirate jokes. Lots of them. Have you heard about the new pirate movie? It's rated ARG. What is a pirate's favorite subject? Art! What kind of socks does a pirate wear? Argyles. Where does a pirate go to read? In the archives, of course. What Star Wars character is really a pirate? R2-D2. Why did the pirate go on vacation? He needed some R&R. What is a pirate's favorite doll? Barbie. How much does it cost a pirate to get a piercing? A buccaneer. What do you call a pirate that skips class? Captain Hooky. What is a pirate always looking for, even though it's right behind him? His booty. And lastly, why does a pirate's phone go beep, beep, beep? He left it off the hook. With that in mind, I hope you have a very merry and wonderful International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to share and like this as well, and comment below. I would love to hear your favorite pirate jokes.